Presentation day, baby. Let's do it. I have a review in 2 days. So let's work. Okay, so I may have got distracted. Good morning, ladies and gents. I don't know if I've even introduced the video yet. Welcome back to a brand new vlog. Yes, tomorrow is my interim review. If you're unaware what an interim review is, basically it's kind of like the middle point. I think we're just before the middle point of the final submission. So we have these kind of reviews to kind of check up on how we're getting on. We get external people and tutors and architects coming in to see our work and present to give us feedback, etc. So that's tomorrow. So it's kind of like the midpoint between the final handing. So we're literally almost done at third year, which is absolutely unbelievable. So the key to an interim review is to get up as much work as possible on the wall, so you can get as much feedback as possible. There's no point in you pinning up a couple pieces of work because they can't really give you much feedback. So you want to get as much information up on the wall as humanly possible to get some decent feedback. So that is what I'm planning to do. So seeming as we're a couple of days away from the review, the first thing that I would do is start planning out how the work is going to look on the board. Like I've mentioned in previous videos and on my deadline week, this is really important to understand maybe what work you do have and maybe what work that you need to do for it to all fit in on the wall. Briefly map this out on InDesign, but this is the first thing that I would do today.
Please mind the door.
Productive day already for tomorrow. I've just got to pin up some more of my models that I've done back at home, but I didn't want to bring them all in today because I've got so many to carry. So yeah, pretty much finished up. Just got to plan out some kind of speech. I probably won't plan it out, but I'll have like rough points of what I want to say, just to make sure it kind of flows well. So yeah, productive day. Just go home, eat, play a bit of Fortnite, and go to sleep. Presentation day, baby. Let's do it. So when I present, I always have just a couple pointers, just so I don't miss out anything. I don't have a script or anything like that, just because I feel like scripts and that kind of thing throw me off completely. So I just have a couple notes in my notebook, just so that maybe if I stutter or I stumble or whatever, or I forget something, I've got it all written here to kind of keep it going, because you don't really want to have a presentation where it's stopping, starting. You're forgetting something, you're reading something. You want it to be quite fluent. With reviews, I definitely advise you guys to kind of find your own way and find what makes you comfortable to present. So yeah, let's do it. And that, ladies and gents, is the interim review done. Very long day. The time is 6 o'clock and we've just finished up. Happy with all the feedback, etc. I know kind of what direction I need to go in. I now need to drive back to Nottingham, so I've got an hour drive. So I'm going to try and keep myself awake, and then I'll speak to you guys in the morning in a little bit more detail. Good morning. I feel like every single time that I have a review or a handing or anything, I end up treating myself to a certain something. And that is because, you know what, I like to reward myself for putting in some work, but it seems to be coming way too regular at the moment. We had a dissertation 2 weeks ago, it was interim review this week, we've got another interim review in 2 weeks, and then we've got the final review, so it looks like I'm just treating myself and giving myself an excuse. Anyway, it is the following day. I have just collected this parcel from ASOS. Today I thought I'd briefly sit down and just run through some tips on preparing yourselves for reviews. And to finish up, I'm going to place you guys up here. It's like the prime position in my house to give you 3 tips for reviews. So we've kind of already covered a couple tips, but to kind of summarize, the first thing is going to be plan ahead. So make sure that you firstly have the work ready for the review. We're kind of talking about interim reviews here, not final reviews, because that's a little bit different. But for interim reviews, you want to plan ahead. You want to make sure that you present as much work as possible to get as much feedback as possible. And you also want to plan ahead to make sure that all the work is going to look good on the wall. You want to be able to tell the story that you want to tell. Because it's no good if you just rock up on the day and try and pin your work up, expect it to look good on the wall. It's just not going to happen. So make sure you plan ahead, make sure you know how it's going to look on the wall, to make sure that it's going to back up your points and tell the story that you want to tell. Point number 2 is going to be roughly plan out some points that you want to say in the presentation. So like I mentioned earlier on in the video, for me personally, I don't find like scripts or long kind of bits of text doesn't really help me in presentations. If anything, it kind of throws me off because I tend to look down, read it, and then I lose track of what I'm saying, and then I'm looking at the book and I'm not looking at the tutors, and then I'm kind of all over the place and it's a bit of a mess. So my piece of advice is maybe just write some really important notes and points that you want to make, just so that if you forget a point, you can briefly look down and kind of look at the notes to make sure that you're on track. And that way you're much more confident, you're kind of talking to the tutors, you're not kind of stood there reading this book. And the third and final point is going to be stay calm. So the one thing that my tutor always tells us to do is to kind of pretend that we're sat at the pub, talking to some mates, discussing some ideas, because at the end of the day, an interim review isn't a big deal. It's just a time to get some feedback. It's a time to kind of show other people your work and to kind of see where your project is at. So try and stay calm, try not to stress out. Yes, it is very daunting presenting in front of people, and I've always found it quite difficult and I've always found it quite nerve-wracking. But what I tell myself is it's no big deal, stay calm, pretend you're in the pub, and everything will be sound. And that is going to wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can probably tell, I've got a sore throat, which is not ideal, and I've just come out of the shower, so I look like I've got Norris hair. And that is going to be a wrap on this video. So thank you as always for watching. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe.